Hi guys! So today I'm going to show you guys how to do highlighting and contouring, and if that's something that interests you, please keep watching. So I'm going to start off with the highlighting. So today we're going to use two products to do the highlighting, the MAC Select Cover Up in NW20 and the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Creamy Beige. And first I'm going to use the MAC concealer and do the under eyes here. So what you want to do is get a I guess a triangular shape going, so something like this. And you're going to just tap your brush into the skin, just because if you're gonna kind of brush it, pull the brush down or upwards, it's just going to remove the product. So we're just going to do a tapping motion. And now we're going to highlight the forehead. So we're just going to create some lines. So depending on the size of your forehead, you're going to highlight and contour accordingly. So what that means is if your forehead is, let's say, large, then you do more contouring. But if you have a smaller forehead, then you do more highlighting, less contouring. I would say I probably have an average size forehead, so in this case I would do half and half of both, maybe a little bit more highlighting. So I'm going a little bit higher because I do want it to pop a bit. And then we're going to do the contouring over top, close to the hairline. So again, we're going to do the tapping motion, and this is going to get the product into the skin versus rubbing it off. We're also going to do a little bit of highlighting in the chin here. Okay, that's good enough, not too much. So some people do like to do highlighting over here too. So your contour is going to go over here under your cheekbone, and then you'll see sometimes that people will also highlight just below their contour. I don't like to see that line there. I just feel like there's just too much going on with the contour line and then another highlight and then contour again under the jawline. So I prefer not to do it, but if it's something that you do and like the way it looks, then continue doing it, obviously. And I'm going to use the LA Girl Pro Conceal to highlight my nose, just because I like the tip of it. I like the brush that comes with the packaging, and it just tends to give me that kind of like that perfect size line, whereas if I use a brush, sometimes I get it too thick or too thin. So I like to just kind of go down this way, and I can use my brush and go over it again, and I can use the same MAC highlighter now. And now we're going to set everything just so it doesn't move with a powder. Today I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just kind of taking that product and dabbing it and kind of lightly putting it on the face. So the powder is going to go everywhere that we highlighted. And then now I'm going to kind of brush that powder off, just any excess that is just sitting on top. Just going to lightly, with a very light hand, brush it off so that you're not taking the concealer off. And now we're going to move on to contouring. So when it comes to contouring, there's I guess a few things that you have to figure out before you start. First thing would be, for contouring your cheeks, you need to find that where your cheekbone ends. So you have to find a line here, and the way I do it is Some people, you can see that line, which makes it easier, but if you can't see the line there where your cheekbone ends, just use your finger and put it under and feel where that bone ends, and then that's where you want that line to go, so on both sides. And then you also want to contour again with your forehead depending on your face, depending on your forehead size, you're going to contour accordingly by either doing it less or more. So if you have a bigger forehead, you'll do more contouring, but if you have a smaller forehead, then you're just going to keep it very close to the hairline. And then with the nose, you want to keep your contour as close or higher up as possible, but also leaving some of that highlighted. The thicker that your contour will be, the bigger your nose will look. So the contour has to be a very small line and kind of higher up on your nose. And I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this is in Chestnut. I will link down below all the products I've used today. Okay, and what we're going to do is take our brush, our contour brush, and I'm going to squeeze it so that it becomes thin like that, and then I'm going to blend this in. And try to keep that contour line higher up as much as you can, so that it's not thick and going down. But again, it's okay if it does go down and it's thicker. We can always fix that up again. And I will show you how to do that. And you want to go up a bit into the inner corner here of your eye, and it just makes your nose look thinner. And it actually, even when you have your eyeshadow on, it'll look better. Your eye area will look better by doing that as well. I do like to take a bit of that product for the contour and just do a little bit over here and just blend it in. And now when it comes to if you've contoured more than you wanted to, and there's too much contouring going on the sides of your nose, what you want to do is go back to your highlighter, the highlight color, whatever you're using, and use that color on the sides of the nose. And so you're going to highlight the sides like this, and that way there won't be as much contour going on. I'm using my contour brush just to blend it to make sure that I don't get a line between my contour and my highlight. And I'm just slightly using that brush to contour a bit around my nostrils here, but I'm not adding any product there. And now what we're going to do is set the contour as well. Just because we've used a cream concealer, we want to set it. However, you can skip this step. There are times that I don't set it. I don't use a powder contour color. I just do the cream one and I leave it. I don't have, I have a dry skin, so I'm not oily, and my makeup does not tend to move around. I can actually leave my makeup on for even longer than 24 hours and it will still look the same. But if you have oily skin, you want to do it, you want to set your makeup, whatever it is, whether it's your highlight, your contour, you always want to make sure that you're setting it. So we're going to use a powdered contour color, and I'm using the MAC bronzer in matte bronze, and I'm just going to lightly set everything up. So again, we're just going to go over all of the contoured areas. I just want to blend everything in just so we don't have any harsh lines. And at this point, I'm not using any products on any of my brushes. All I'm doing is just making sure that everything is blended in properly. I really hate seeing lines, whether it's my eyeshadow or my highlighting and contouring. I want to make sure that everything looks very blended in, as if, you know, it fades from one color to the next. There is one last step, and that is your blush. Because I feel like without that, the blush and the highlight, the contouring is not complete. So I'm going to actually do my blush as well. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is highlight. I'm going to use the MAC Vanilla Pigment, and I'm going to highlight the cheekbone as well as a bit on my nose and under my eyebrows and my cupid's bow. Just like with your contouring, how we had to find that line where to contour, with highlighting you want to find that line again. So basically it's where your cheekbone starts. So if you feel it, you'll feel where the cheekbone starts, and then you're just going to find that highest point, and then you're going to highlight. So I tend to use a little bit more product than some people might, because I do like my highlight to pop. But if you don't want your highlight to be as prominent, you can always use less product. And I'm also going to highlight my cupid's bow and my nose, the tip of my nose, and just slightly on my bridge of my nose. And then using this same brush with, I didn't put any product in, just dabbing it to get a little bit of highlight there, but I don't want it to be shiny, so that's why I'm not taking any product onto the brush. So I'm going to use a smaller brush to do the cupid's bow here. Now I'm going to highlight the tip of my nose, so just a little bit of product here, and then just a bit of product right here. Alright guys, so that's it for highlighting and contouring, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm just going to turn my face around so you guys can see all the angles.